What's going on? Welcome to Asian Cosell. So I got one here by Dating Right, and yes, Jordan Peterson calmly humbles women. Who says men and women aren't equal yet? Let's see. Let's go.
What do you understand by equality, Sophie? What does it mean to you?
Freedom.
Can you be more? Is it equality of opportunity? Is it equal pay across the board? Is it something more than that?
I think equality is better for everyone. I
Yeah,
think,
okay.
I'm really delighted.
Okay.
I love my job because it's an optimistic and a hopeful job, which is about creating more choices for people. I'm interested in people being able to have different choices and having equality of outcome.
She danced around that question. She did not answer it. I don't think she know what equality means.
Aha.
Yeah.
Well, so you're going to have choices and equality of outcome. What if people choose different things, which is what they've been doing in Scandinavia? So the Scandinavian countries have moved more towards gender equality than any other countries, and the personality differences in Scandinavia have increased rather than decreased, and the proportion of women who are choosing STEM fields has decreased rather than increased. So as cultures become more gender neutral, the number of women who choose STEM fields decreases.
What do you mean
not
by STEM
increasing.
fields?
So science, technology,
Okay.
engineering, and mathematics.
I
So
think
if you let
actually-
men and women make their choices, what actually happens is that they specialize in different situations,
they
and you
not-
don't get equality of
Could they
outcome.
not have been programmed to have those views from the moment we raise them and give boys
No,
Lego and construction?
no, because what happens is that as countries get more egalitarian, which means there's less programming of that sort, the differences get larger, not smaller. And the scientific data on that is clear. And most of it was generated by people who have a left-leaning bias, so you can't blame it on conservative scientists. It was a shock to everyone to find that out.
Okay, let's get.
Sophie,
I think the difference between Jordan and me is that we look at evidence and we lean towards different theories. So Jordan's theory is very much evolutionary, that there are inherent differences in men and women. Mine is very much more social role theory, if you like, and that men and women are taking on different roles due to the expectations that society puts on them. And it's interesting that Jordan frequently cites Scandinavian countries where they've made more, like there's nowhere in the world that women are equal, but Scandinavia has made the most progress towards shared parenting, etc.
Yep.
That said, it's not done yet. There's nowhere in the world where this is done yet.
But it's having the opposite effect that the gender equality types predicted. Opposite, not the same.
No,
and it isn't a theory, it's actually data driven by tens of thousands of surveys and the best scientific literature on the topic. It's not a theory, and I didn't come about it because of my political perspective. I looked at the data. What it showed was that as countries become more egalitarian, the differences between men and women grow. They don't shrink.
So what I'm interested in is data and analysis as well.
Ma'am, you're not interested in the data and the facts because he's telling you the data and the facts, but you just want to keep talking to find a way to rebuttal this man, but you're not saying anything. This woman is the definition of hearing but not listening at all.
Interested in is data and analysis as well. And I'm particularly interested in the ones presented, such as the ones by the University of Southern California, which discovered that change towards gender equality is actually being slowed by beliefs that are legitimizing social.
Okay, University of Southern California, really? Freaking California. Pretty much majority is a woke state, except all the other outlying counties,
Inequalities on the basis of sex. And I'm also interested, like Jordan, I look at the data and I look at the studies, and I'm really also very much interested in studies like the analysis that was done by the American Psychological Society, which looked at 45 analysis of whether there's sex difference over 20 years. And its conclusion was that men and women are basically alike in terms of personality, in terms of cognitive ability, in terms of leadership. But what it did find was that media depictions of men and women as fundamentally different perpetuate misconceptions, as does workplace bias.
Oh God, so it's my fault.
So No, well, you're leaving soon. It's okay.
Men and women actually are more the same than they are different. But the issue is that small differences at the population level can turn into very large differences at the extreme. So, for example, men and women are broadly similar with regards to aggression, although men tilt a little bit more towards aggression. So that if you picked a random person out of the population, male and female, and you guessed that the male was more aggressive, you'd be right 60% of the time. But if you take the 1 in 100 most aggressive people, they're all male. And that's why the overwhelming proportion of people who are in prisons are male. Now, do you want to equalize that, just out of curiosity? What about bricklayers? They're 99% male. And we've got about 3/4 of the population now in universities in the humanities and social sciences are female.
Yeah.
Are we going to equalize that? And men work longer hours. They work more dangerous jobs. They're more likely to move. They're more likely to work outside. They're more likely to participate in jobs in the STEM fields that are scalable. They make more money for those reasons. And that's all hidden under the idea that the reason that men and women make different amounts of money is because of their gender. It's a very simplistic analysis, and trying to
Michael,
address
I was just going to say, Sophie,
That's when women's whole argument for equality falls apart.
Yeah.
They don't want that same equality when it comes to certain jobs. They don't want to do labor intensive work. And you would think it's more labor intensive blue collar jobs, but these women are also not going into the science or engineering fields as well, where they got to build, machinery. A lot of software jobs, women are not running to those jobs as well.
can you come back on that?
What I'm trying to equalize is opportunity and choice.
fine, let's equalize
you agree,
choice.
you agree on that.
But we won't get equal outcome that way.
And I think that
And she is damn well not listening to anything. I'm like, come on. Oh, I'm so oppressed. Let's play victim. Yeah, as Jordan Peterson says, you want to equalize a prison? Are we going to equalize the universities? Because, yeah, majority of the universities are now women, not men. So.
But what happens then? Nobody knows, because we've never done it yet.
We do know. We know what's happened in Scandinavia.
But it's not fully got there yet.
finished
No, but it's going in the opposite direction that everyone predicted, and strongly.
I think one of the things I loved about Jordan's book, which I speed read last night, so forgive me, Jordan, I've not read every line. But one of my favorite rules in Jordan's book is Rule 9, which says, assume the person you are listening to might know something you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that in a country where men outnumber women by 2 to 1 in Parliament, in local government, where women's voices are not equally represented in media, where our education systems still are teaching boys and girls ideas of pink and blue. Yeah. What I'm trying to do is work with thousands of optimistic, hopeful people for change.
Okay,
we take joint membership.
I want to take one call, if you'll forgive me, because time is really short, and I owe it to the viewers to hear their views on this.
We've got Celine calling from Manchester.
Celine, good morning.
Hi, Matthew. How you doing?
I'm very well. Loving it. I'm pig in heaven today. What do we think about equality? Will it ever happen, Celine?
I was going to say I thought it was going to happen, but after listening to Jordan, he's swayed my opinion.
Why did you think it was going to happen?
Because I think we're going to become more cognitive creatures, and jobs are going to be more about mental skills.
Technology.
But then I've been visited schools, and I work in STEM. I'm an software developer, and the number of women doing software development hasn't increased. I would have thought they would have increased more, but I went into secondary school to do GCSE IT stuff, and there's very, very few girls doing IT. And I was thinking, IT is the future, and the schools are pushing for more girls to go into IT, but there's only I've visited about 8 schools.
Can I just, sorry, Celine, can I just because I took 30 seconds. Sophie's idea, actually, representations in the media could be affecting such choices. Geeks, we see geeks, bespectacled blokes with bad hair on computers. That's what tech means, isn't it?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right.
Why does it seem like every debate that Jordan Peterson is in, he looks like the sober guy talking to a bunch of drunk?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's just like, wow, And yeah, she's not going to listen to it. She thinks, oh, we're oppressed. We're like, okay, come on. Yeah, you're right on about that.
People but I'm going to stop the video right there. You guys drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this conversation that Jordan Peterson had on this show, and why you guys think a lot of females don't go into the science and technology field. I didn't know the numbers were so high as they was, but make sure you guys hit that subscribe button on your way out. Like the video. I will see you in the next one.
Yeah, shout out to Dating Right, but yeah, yeah, a lot of women are not into STEM, and actually, we're encouraging them to come into STEM, but apparently not, because it doesn't interest a lot of the women. And of course, sometimes the feminists will say, "Oh, because we're oppressed, we can't do it." I'm like, we're actually inviting you to it, and plus, bricklaying. Most of the ladies don't want to do bricklaying. It's a hard physical labor to lay that brick, and it's not as simple as you think. When I even knew a bricklayer back in the days, yeah, he's like, there's a whole process of how you lay down a brick, because if you don't lay it right, the foundation and all that, it's gonna crumble. So you have to do it just right to where you lay that brick, but brick by brick. So. Yeah, so it could cause some problems if you don't do the brick laying correctly. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, shout out to Dating Right again. And if any of you enjoyed any of this content, please give me the HKO special. Help the king out. Hit the like, subscribe, and comment. And wherever you are, stay safe. And I'll see you in my next video.